Receiving feedback both takes humility and skill. When someone brings to you some point of negative feedback in particular, hey, this isn't going well in your life, or you're not doing it like this and you should, the first like sinful human reaction is to just get angry and defensive and to shush things away and to say, nope, I don't see it, you're wrong, and to be dismissive, defensive, kind of trying to protect the homeostasis. Things are fine. I don't know what you're talking about. So the solution to that defensive-ness is humility. Humility is really not thinking more highly of yourself than you ought to. Humility is really about recognizing that you're a person in process and that the Lord will work in your life through people and situations to cultivate greater degrees of maturity and holiness. And so if you're humble, then you have to like operate your life with the presupposition that people will give me negative feedback, and a lot of it will be true and some of it will be false. That's the humble disposition here. The second thing is the skill. What are the skills required to actually assimilate that feedback? Because you'll get tons of feedback in your life, and not all of it will be helpful, not all of it will be true, not all of it will be good. And so just kind of blindly applying or taking hook, line, and sinker all feedback isn't the right choice either. So there's like a discernment, a skill process here. And so this process will kind of help you think through, how do I deal with feedback? All right, so someone brings to you a point of feedback. Okay, I've seen a pattern in which you are harsh with your children, and I think it's actually a bit of a problem. Okay, so what do you do? Well, step one is you ask, you try to really make sure you understand what they're saying, why they're saying it, and what's been going on that led them to want to say this. So we go, okay, so I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. When you say harsh, what do you mean by that? Oh, well, I mean like elevated voice. I mean short sentences. I mean you're overpowering them with the force of your voice. It seems like they're doing 5 out of 10 problems and you're reacting with 9 out of 10 severity. Okay, there's harshness there. Okay, have you seen that pattern anywhere besides with my kids? Is it mostly with my kids? No, it's mostly with your kids. Okay, can you give me a few specific examples of when you think you've seen that pattern? Okay, so you're reacting to this feedback and you're trying to like understand as clearly as possible, what exactly are you saying? What exactly are you talking about? When have you seen it? When have you not seen it? Okay, have you seen a pattern where you thought a situation arise where you thought I would be harsh and then I wasn't harsh? No, actually, you're harsh every time. Okay, or yes, here's a time when I thought you reacted. Okay, great. So then you really want to just understand what they're saying, not take, this is personal feedback. We don't want to take it personally. Because it's important to recognize here that this person has decided to take a risk in giving you this feedback. The easy thing for them to do would be to not say anything and to just gossip about you or just stuff to lie to themselves about what they're seeing. And so after you've like really sought to understand it, number 2 is to respond with gratitude to the person's courage to have the conversation. Hey, I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to have this type of conversation with me. If nobody had this type of conversation with me, I would not have the chance to grow and develop and go on like this. And at this point, you still may think what they said is 90% wrong, but nonetheless, you want the type of people in your life who give you feedback. And so responding with gratitude is number 2. And then number 3 is going, okay, I'm going to now walk away and weigh this and take it seriously and consider it and pray about it. And I might ask my wife or another friend. I'm not going to ask like 15 people, but 1 or 2 other key people. Hey, so-and-so brought this into me. Do you see any of this in my life as well? And that person may be caught off guard initially because they're like, I wasn't planning on talking to you about that. But you go, and if you don't have anything to say right now, that's fine, but please talk to me about it sometime in the next week or so. So now you're kind of personally wrestling with it. You're inviting someone else to give feedback. And then 5th, now you're kind of trying to decide, to what extent was their feedback accurate or inaccurate? To what extent did they understand or not understand? But you're really not trying to make a ruling on their feedback, except for maybe a few days later, a few hours later, a handful of prayers later, and you're trying to kind of sort through it. And so even if you get to the point where you're going, okay, so-and-so thinks that I am consistently harsh with my kids, I actually think that the tone I use in these contexts is appropriate, but definitely that one example they gave, that was inappropriate. And so I'm going to thank them. So then you go, okay, hey, I really agree with what you said about this situation. that was unkind. I'm going to apologize to my kids for that. And I really appreciate you having the guts and the courage to say that to me. The point at which I disagree, though, is I do think the way I spoke to my kid in that context was I actually do kind of want to do it that way. That's how I think it's the right way to speak to a child who is, poking his sister in the eye or something like that. That I feel okay with that. However, I do want to, I'll be second guessing myself, probably appropriately because of your feedback, and I'll keep an eye on it. And so that kind of like 5-step process is a helpful way to think through how to receive and assimilate feedback you're maybe even blindsided by. And I do think really step 2 is the most critical one, is the flinch to respond with gratitude rather than defensiveness, because receive the gift of someone calling you out and let them be an agent of your sanctification. This is a key part of being in a community that's actually a community and not just a social club. So let's be people who flinch to humility, flinch to gratitude, are prayerful and thoughtful, and then are able to be pushed on by other people. Because to be a man who's incapable of being pushed on is a very dangerous thing.